What's up, guys? Crypto Savvy here. I hope everybody's having a fabulous Tuesday. We're going to take a look at the charts. I'm going to show you why I believe we could be having a big breakout within the next week or two. So definitely stick around for the whole video. There's going to be a lot of information. I'm going to push it through real quick. As most of you know, my mom got in a car accident last night, so I got to get back up to the hospital. But I do want to give you a short update on what's going on in the video. Definitely, guys, don't forget to check out the free Discord in the description below the video. Also, there's some affiliate links in there that really help the channel out. So if you could check those out, if you can use them, awesome. If you can't, that's okay too. And let's get on with the video. All right, guys, as always, I want to start out by saying I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion and my view of the market only. Anybody that's doing any trading or investing in this market, I suggest you do your own due diligence and your own research, as this market is extremely volatile and risky. Also, keep in mind, it's still a speculative market. Do not put in more than you're willing to lose. And with that being said, if you're new here, you haven't already, definitely hit the subscribe button in the lower right-hand side of the screen. That'll get you subscribed to the channel. And tick the notification bell. That'll get you notified when I post new videos, as I do daily updates every single day, so you don't want to miss out. Definitely don't forget to hit the subscribe and tick the notification bell. Also, guys, give it a giant thumbs up. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Okay, so looking at Bitcoin on the weekly, and as you know, I've been looking at this as a bull flag. I know a lot of people are looking at it as a descending triangle. I am not. Not to say that's not possible, but I have been saying this is a bull flag for weeks now, and I still believe it is. And the measured move off that, guys, is around the $20,000 to $21,000 range. Also, we're going to take a look at the RSI, but I want to remind you, stick around to the end of the video, and I'll show you why I believe we're headed for 46,000 by the end of the year. We've been talking about it and comparing these two charts since January, so definitely stick around to the end. It's playing out beautifully. All right, looking at the RSI. Also, I want to point out, even in the weekly, you can see the volume here is declining rapidly right here. That is a sign of a big move coming when the volume gets low like that. Let's look at the RSI. This is the weekly RSI that I've been watching, and I'm going to actually zoom in a little bit so you guys can see this whole thing. All right, and looking at the lows on the price action, we're getting higher lows in the price action. We're getting lower lows in the RSI. That's hidden bullish divergence, guys. And again, that's on the weekly, so we may not have this big breakout that I'm expecting this week, but I do believe it'll possibly be by next week. So definitely keep in mind what's going on. It could happen this week. Keep that in mind also. But what I'm looking at is the RSI here. And as you can see, we're in a falling wedge here, and we're getting ready to test the top of that wedge. Again, guys, this is a weekly. We could pop out a little bit, then come back inside it, and then next week come out. So this to me is a no trading zone. If you're a day trader, it's gonna be pretty hectic. But as you guys know, I don't day trade, I swing trade. And let's go into the hourly. The hourly RSI, we've been watching this bigger falling wedge here. And we've broken out right up here. We've broken out of it. We could come back down, test it for support. We'll look at that in the daily. And as you guys know, we have to keep in mind the bearish case scenario, obviously. And that, for me, is around the $7,100 to $7,200 range. If we fall below that, then everything changes, in my opinion here. But I don't see that happening. And also, if you guys have been watching, you know I had this thick white trend line here as the trend reversal line. I do believe this was more of a bull trap that we just witnessed over the last, week or so. Got down below it. Now we pop back above it. Extremely bullish, if you ask me, guys. We'll take a look at these smaller targets here, but I do want to show you what I believe we could expect at the break of this flag. If we measured just the flag itself as a channel where we would possibly break out, we're looking at the $15,000 range. That would be our first, most likely our first resistance. And then measuring this as a flag pull over here, the short one, and to where we would break out. That gets us around the 17.5 range, somewhere in there. That's where we would most likely be seeing resistance. And then we already looked at the 21,000. But like I said, that's not my end of the year target. That's my end of the year target is still 46,000. Let's go into the 4 hour. Look at the RSI. As you guys know, we were watching this wedge and I had this falling channel drawn in here, and we popped out nicely. We could be seeing a retracement here, guys, or just some sideways movement and the RSI resetting, which happens a lot. Let's look at the more immediate and see what I'm looking at here, and I'll tell you where I'm looking for support. All right, so I have these measured moves here. Let me get the RSI off there. Looking at this as a falling wedge here, this bottom line being support, top being resistance. Take a measured move of that from over here at the widest point and where we broke out. That gets me to around the 10,950 range. That is the target of this wedge breakout. We also had this smaller target in here, and that's looking at this orange line here. This being the resistance, this being the support, rising wedge. Let me get, and this would be the measure move off of where we broke out of that rising wedge. Actually, I had that a little off, but that would have got us to right about where we're at. That actually would have got us to about the 7,000 or 10,479. I'm going to get rid of that now. We've already hit that. If you can see here, we're getting support off the 200 EMA. I want to point out that this is very bullish here, guys. When my 8, my 13, and my 21 EMA, let me zoom in so you can see it, have all crossed the 55 EMA right here. That's very, very, very bullish in my opinion, guys. And this is on the 4 hour. Worst case, we come back down to test the top of this orange wedge, which could be around 10,100 area. If that wasn't to hold, I would be looking for support around the $10,000 range. $9,900 to $10,000 range would be here. That was the break. Next line of support would be around the 9,600. But guys, I think this is looking pretty damn strong up here. I'll just draw something in real quick, something I'm looking at. We were to look at this as a possible falling wedge. Go off these lines here. We could have a little bit more down movement, maybe to the 10,250, somewhere in there. But I do believe we are continuing up from here, guys, to at least these targets. Got my first one at the 10,750 and then the 10,954. It's looking pretty damn good, guys. So watch for these targets, and then we'll see how it reacts from there. We could possibly just get, you know, another bull flag when we get up in here. We could, I'll show you real quick, something like this. And could just kind of go sideways in here before we pop out. Or the other option would be, you know, we come through here, come back down, test the white line for support, and then pop out. But either way, guys, I see a massive move to the upside coming within a week or two, most likely. Like I said, this is all my opinion. Do your own due diligence and your own research. But this is what I'm seeing, guys. I do believe it is very bullish right now. All right, let's look at Litecoin real quick, and then we'll look at my end of the year target for 46,000. So as you know, in Litecoin, I've been watching this as a big cup and a handle. I do still believe that is what is here. The measured move off of that, guys, would be measuring from the neckline at 146. If we were to come back up and break out, excuse me, it'll be around the $270 range. I'm still looking at that. Let's look at the RSI. All right, so looking at the RSI, we had this rising channel. We came out of it in a falling channel, and I've been looking at this as a broadening wedge. Let me zoom in so you can see it. This being resistance and this being support. Also drew this wedge in there yesterday, which we popped above. Very bullish, guys. We could come back down, test the top of it again before continuing up. Then if we break this, falling wedge trend line here, come up, break this falling wedge, guys, that is gonna be a huge move. Look at the 4-hour RSI, same thing, had this falling channel here, which we broke out of, and we are in a bigger falling channel. I do believe we're most likely going to come up and test this range, but like I said, this is the 4-hour. We could come back down and touch this trend line, and I'll show you in the chart here. All right, so one of the other things I'd been looking at is this falling wedge in Litecoin in the yellow here. A measured move of breaking that wedge, depending on where we were to break it, guys. Say if we broke it over in this range, measured move off of that would be right around the $167, $170 range, somewhere in that area. We can get more specific if and when that breaks. Let me zoom in a little bit now, and we'll take a look at the bearish case first. We got back above here, just like in Bitcoin. I believe this was more of a bull trap. As you can see, we're forming a little W here. But I'll show you these two targets. These are my two more immediate targets. And then we'll go from there. If this one doesn't hold, our next major line of support is around the $61 range. After that's 53. After that is 47. But I do not believe we're going there, guys, and I'm going to show you what I'm looking at in the more immediate time frames. There's two things that could be forming here. Number one is another cup and a handle. And if that's the case, we broke out and we're getting support on the neckline now, which is a good sign. The measured move of that is measure from the neckline around the $71 to $72 range. That's what I'm looking at here. If we can break it back above this 55 EMA. As you can see, the EMAs are turning up. They're looking strong. This is looking like a good move. The measured move, now if we looked at this as a rising wedge here in the yellow, measure the width of the widest point of the wedge, and where we broke down, that gets us around the $62 range, guys, which I do believe if we do go down here, we should get a nice bounce back up. But I'm looking more towards the $71, $72 range. And then after that, that's when we start looking at the higher targets. But as of now, that's what I'm looking at for today, guys, for Bitcoin and Litecoin. Now I'm going to show you why I believe we'll hit 46,000 by the end of the year, in my opinion. This is a gold or the Bitcoin chart on the daily. This is the gold chart on the weekly. Look at the patterns and the similarities, guys. That's why I do believe it'll hit the target. Keep an eye on this yellow line. That's why I believe we'll hit 46,000 by the end of the year. As you can see, a pattern is a pattern, guys. I do believe it'll play out like this. Again, we've been watching this since January, which was right down in here before this even broke out. We had two touches on this bottom trend line before breaking out. Same thing in gold, two touches on the bottom trend line. Gold's consolidation right here was a lot smaller than what we're having now, but I do believe this is going to be a huge move and a huge breakout. And if we look at this white trend line I have in here coming off of these three supports in the bear market, if we do break this, this is going to break the flag and this white trend line around the same time. When that breaks, guys, when we break above the 11.2 range, I believe we may come back down, test it for support, and then break back up. We break this yellow line here off the two peaks, and I believe, watch the hell out, it's going to be an amazing move. Again, guys, my opinion. Let's look at gold. Same thing. Once it broke through here, it actually came back down, tested the support. Another thing I want to talk about real quick is why I believe we could be starting a recession. And that doesn't mean that the market's going to crash right now. It's just what I believe it is, a beginning of a recession. And we've been watching gold along with Bitcoin for a while now. Let's look at this rising channel here. I had said if we opened and closed a weekly above this, I believe that is a sign of a recession starting. I do believe we have opened and closed a weekly candle above this now. I'll zoom in so you can see it. I do believe we have begun our recession. And that, like I said, that doesn't mean we crash straight down, guys. The market's going to pump up a little, down a little. It may take a while, but I do believe the recession has begun, in my opinion. Let's look at the measured moves of gold, though, from this breakout. If we looked at this as a ascending triangle that we broke out of, did a measured move from that, that gets us to the $1,675 range. If we do a measured move, measuring the breakout of this rising channel, that gets us up to the 18,037 range. These are my two targets for gold. As you can see, gold takes longer to move, so this could be, you know, 6 months out, a year out. But anyways, regardless, these are my targets for gold. So if you guys enjoyed the video, definitely hit the subscribe button by clicking the Crypto Savvy logo above my head. Tick the notification bell to get you notified. Like I said, I do videos every single day, so you won't miss out on anything. Smash those likes. Leave your comments, guys. Let me know what you think of the video. Are you still bullish? Are you bearish? What are you thinking? Let me know in the comments. I love reading your guys' comments and seeing where you're at. Have a great day. I will see you later.